I'm standing here on site at the World Ice Art Championship single block event at the George Horner Ice Art Park in Fairbanks, Alaska. Behind me is one of the 50 sites that will be used by the artists in this event. Each block weighs approximately 6,000 pounds and measures 5 by 8 by 3 feet, the 3-foot side being the natural thickness of the ice, and that can vary from year to year. These blocks of ice are harvested from 2 large reservoirs maintained on site specifically for this purpose. During a normal season, Ice Alaska will harvest over 3,000 blocks of ice, shipping some of them around the world. This is a 3-day event, with each site being occupied by only 1 or 2 artists. It is truly amazing, the artistic ingenuity that goes into these pieces each year. I spoke with Dick Brickley, chairman of Ice Alaska, earlier this week about the prospects for this season.
We have artists that are here from Russia, from Japan, from China, many from China that are starting to put together the kids' park. You'll see the big slides. We'll light all the things on the 18th to kind of tell everybody, even though the park doesn't open on the 18th, we'll light it up so people will know that the ice park is getting ready to open for the 2013 BP World Ice Art Championships.
And how many volunteers at peak level? How many volunteers?
We'll have. Last year we had about 300. We had 376, and I say that by the badges that we issue out. I do consider the artists volunteers, so they're in that number. But with the artists and the total volunteers, probably over 400 this year. And some coming from as far as South Carolina and Florida, many, and our same returning volunteers from the lower 48. So, and they'll be arriving about the 20th of February.
And I understand that both events are all full now. The registration was pretty...
It was phenomenal. We basically were filled by the 15th of November, which is almost 4 months before the event even starts. And we have a waiting list in the single block and multi-block, so we're excited about that. We have drawings, we have names, we have all the things that we can really provide the hotels, because we have to house the people, but just it's unbelievable. We got 40 teams in the single block and 20 teams in the multi-block. Plus we have the team from Iraq that's waiting for their visa, so we could even have more than 40 teams if we can get the visa from Iraq. I've sat at this table and talked to them face to face on the internet. It was so exciting. He showed his design of what he's going to do, which is it's spelled love in English and Arabic, his design. So I just pray that our visa person, Cam Carlson, she's working with the state, with the senators and the congressman's office to try to assist in that regard.
That's going to be a great addition. This sounds like this year.
Huge.
And well, how many countries are there participating at this point?
Off the top of my head, I think we have about 11 different countries. Many artists from Russia. It looks like about 14 artists from Russia, 14 to 16 artists from China. Then we got Japan, and we've got Mexico and the Netherlands. I mean, Iceland, for the first time we have Iceland coming in. So we're excited about that. You know, the dream is we have every country in the world here in Fairbanks for competing in either ice, snow, wood, or sand sculpting. But that's we're really happy with the results we've had so far, with the interest in coming.
A lot of these artists are returning from previous. I mean, people come each year, and they're always these favorites. You know, we have Junichi Nakamura, and as I understand, there are a lot of the public favorites are returning this year. So.
The Steve and Heather Bryce are coming back with their team, which will be phenomenal. They're doing the single block and the multi block. as you mentioned, Junichi Nakamura from Japan is going to be spectacular. He's going to come in early and do the stage for us for the celebrations and things. We have Buddy Rasmussen and his team out of Texas. We've got the team coming out of Georgia, so they're coming out of New York. I mean, we have 20-some teams in the multi-block. 3 Russian teams, 3 China teams. And I've seen the designs. They are phenomenal.
Yes,
each year, they get better, but
they do.
Yeah.
Every year it just seems to top the previous year. It's amazing. So they're going to be coming in this year, and they're going to be now. This is the second year they're going to be competing for prize money.
And we've doubled the prize. Last year we gave actually $18,700 in actual cash prizes to the winners, and this year we doubled it to $32,000. So we have essentially, plus the team that wins the Olympic trials, which we have. The U.S. team that wins the Olympic trials will win a space if Russia has the Olympics in going to the Olympics. So each one of those artists will receive an additional $2,500 if Russia decides to have the sculpting thing. So we're essentially giving away $37,000 in prize money. The plan calls for that we want to be given $500,000 in 5 years. I mean, that's to say thank you to the artists that bring so much enjoyment to the Fairbanks community.
So this is a long-running event. So we've always, people always ask, well, when's the best time to come? And it's almost impossible to say, isn't it? I mean,
well, it is. And as we were talking earlier, you're missing 90% of the thing that really makes it possible if you just come when the sculptures are finished. That's why I said I highly recommend that the people purchase a season pass for essentially $25. They get a $5 pin with that. They get all, plus they can come in unlimited times and just show their pass. That pass, a season pass, is good for one free train ride that day, because we're going to charge for riding the train, again, to generate revenue. So the cost of a season pass, if you calculate it, is 74 cents a day for the 34 days if you came every day. Plus, you get a free train ride that would cost $1 if you had to do that. So you're actually saving you're putting $5 in your pocket. That's the best. But the most important thing, it's a way that people in the community say, man, this is a wonderful thing for Fairbanks. It is Fairbanks. It can't be done many other places, but it is truly, and you've been a part of it since the beginning.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's the biggest ice sculpting event in the world.
The single block begins on February 26th with the park opening to the public. And don't forget that season pass. I hope to see you there. At the BP World Ice Art Championships in Fairbanks, Alaska at the George Horner Ice Art Park, I'm Steve Iverson.